right, so we're about doing the newspapers. Of course, it's a holiday, so it's limited in terms of the newspapers that we have. I've got the Ghanaian Times, the Daily Guide, and the Daily Graphic newspaper. We will touch base with myjoyonline.com and then also just chew on a few things that have been making the headlines. Yesterday, there was a statement, apparently a letter to someone from the GRA. Now, we're still cross-checking if that GRA letter is authentic. But we will share some videos with you in the course of this review by way of a $1 million donation. Was it real or not? To a bride and a groom. Well, Sam Kranchiankra, Reverend Sam Kranchiankra, has been doing some explanation. We will be bringing that video to you. And Ash Gold and Inter-Allies. There are so many funny things going on social media. And of course, we will be analyzing that situation as well. Remember that Inter-Allies, they've been relegated. So what is this whole thing about? Some deal or some bet or, that kind of thing. We'll look into that situation. So let's do the newspapers. The Ghanaian Times newspaper is what I will start with. On the front page of the Times, the parliamentary probe. I erred in signing Sputnik-V vaccine contracts. That's a confession, if you like, by the Minister for Health. Details of that story in the paper. Chief Imam leads Eid al-Adha prayers at National Mosque today. 10,291 birds died, destroyed in 3 regions over bird flu. And then the Vice President is rallying support. This is the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Vice President rallying support for fight against land degradation and deforestation. Recruitment into Army, 1,000-strong El-Wak Stadium for medical exams. There were pictures and videos of this also on social media, with some saying it's a reflection of the lack of jobs in Ghana today. So you'd find people who otherwise would not choose to be in the army, for instance, applying because there's nothing else for them to do. So details of all of that in the paper today. But let's do page 3, the crime stories. The Inkaria Circuit Court has sentenced 3 persons to 75 years imprisonment for robbery in a town near Tepa in the Hafuano North municipalities. A 19-year-old from 2 students who got a 10-year jail term. There's also a 25-year-old who is an ex-convict who was jailed 40 years, and another 25-year-old small-scale miner who received 25 years. On the murder of J.B. Dankwa, 2 mobile phones tendered in evidence. The 2 mobile phones that Daniel Esiedu allegedly took from the room of the late Member of Parliament for Abuakwa South in the Eastern Region, Joseph Boache Dankwa Edu, were tendered in evidence at the Accra High Court yesterday. The mobile phones, iPhone 4 and 5, were tendered by Mr. Kenneth Kranche, who was led in evidence by Mrs. Sefa Kogbache, a principal state attorney. Details of what transpired in court is in the paper. And then a total of 378 suspects have been arrested in the Accra metropolis as part of efforts to clamp down on criminal activities to ensure peaceful celebration of Eid al-Adha today. Also on page 3, the police have arrested a 64-year-old woman for allegedly murdering her 100-year-old husband. Ooh. And this happened in Chichnasi in the Doma East districts of the Bono region. Details of that in the paper. Let's turn our attention to the back page now. Use funds, tech to attract youth into a Greek. And then WA Rotary Club embarks on 1.2 million Ghana cedis water sanitation projects. If you come to the center spread of the paper, where we have the Health Minister Kweku Agyeman-Manu admitting that he erred in signing the contracts with that Emirati businessman for the supply of 3.4 million doses of Russia-made Sputnik-V coronavirus vaccines without prior parliamentary and executive approval. He conceded that the contract for the supply of the vaccines at the cost of $64.6 million US constituted an international commercial agreement and should have received prior parliamentary approval in line with constitutional provisions. Well, now, this is a tricky one because especially when we have spent money, we're not sure if an apology will do, because yesterday the minister said it will not happen again, except that there's precedent, right? There's the Amidu and the Waterville issue, where we know Mr. Woyome is refunding some monies to the states for causing, financial loss to the state, if you like. So this one will have implications, definitely, but the probe is still ongoing. So we wait to see what happens next. We just have to turn our attention to the fact that an international agreement must definitely seek parliamentary approval. Otherwise, it isn't an agreement. And so if you spent money, we have to take it from you. But let's wait to see what happens. Final story in the Ghanaian Times. The Ghana Statistical Service has extended enumeration for the 2021 population and housing census for an additional 10 days to cover some selected 25 districts across the country. So those of us who have not been counted, we have another 10-day window to get ourselves counted. We really do hope that when we give the Statistical Service a call, we will be counted, because we count. So we must be counted. Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. On the front page of the Graphic, Minister admits wrong judgment in Sputnik-V deal. Census mop-up extended to July 30. We will promote environment at all costs. That is, according to the Vice President, who's reiterated government's commitment to protect the environment at all costs and ensure its sustainability. Akoto Ampao responds to Akwesi Afrifa. That story is on page 25 in the Ghanaian Times. No, this is the Daily Graphic newspaper, I beg your pardon. So this issue has to do with the Kumasi-based lawyer whose former client had petitioned the General Legal Counsel for him to refund some monies that he alleges he paid to him because the lawyer wanted to use it to do Ways and Means. And that is the petition that has also brought more allegations, particularly from this lawyer, Lawyer Afrifa, and the CJ, the Chief Justice's name, has been dragged into this with this $5 million bribery allegation, remember? Well, another person who was mentioned in that response by Lawyer Afrifa was Lawyer Akoto Ampao, because in that response, Lawyer Afrifa did indicate, allegedly, that his former client had ditched him on the advice of the Chief Justice, who had recommended that this client, which is the Chief, or Jidom, hires Akoto Ampao as his new lawyer. Akoto Ampao has been responding. I think it's a 3-page or 4 document that he issued. It was actually also copied to the General Legal Counsel. Now, he says in that document that ideally he would not have responded because that's not his style, really. But he doesn't want people to come and say that because he did not respond, and so what has been alleged is true. So he refutes, of course, what has been said. He talks about the issue itself. And maybe you want to read the whole details of that to understand it yourself. It's on myjoyonline.com, by the way. But, of course, you can also get it in the Daily Graphic newspaper. But I think I've summed it up for you, right? And he's warning, you've been warned. He's told you his side of the story. If you drag him down, he's going to deal with you legally. That's also contained in that piece. Let's look at the center spread of the Daily Graphic newspaper. EPA begins auditing structures for payments of compensation at Ahafo North Mines. Also, a total of 5,455 cases were mediated through alternative dispute resolution in the country last year, out of which 2,312, representing 42% of the cases, were settled. So cases mediated through ADR last year, there's a good breakdown of that in the paper. It's not everything that has to be legally handled. Sometimes it may travel years, but there's an alternative dispute resolution that's equally very effective, and it usually ends up well and nice. You know, people are not overly antagonistic and that kind of stuff. South Korea supports national COVID-19 fight with face shields. It's also another story in the center spread. If you look at the back page, rain caused havoc in Elembele. NADMO alerts residents to danger. You've got to see the picture on the back page of the daily graphic. It's portions of a road that caved in. And this is so scary, absolutely very scary. It's captured on the back page of the daily graphic. Story filed by my friend Duche Kobla Klobetu in Sekendi Takrade, and it says the District Directorate of the National Disaster Management Organization has warned people, especially those living in reverend communities, low and highly areas within the Lembele districts in the western region, of potential flooding, as the Meteorological Services Agency predicts heavy rains in the coming days and weeks. So they've urged the people to take every necessary precaution, including vacating the area if necessary, to avoid the impacts of the rains, including potential landslides. All right, that's it for the Daily Graphic newspaper. Let's turn our attention to the Daily Guide now. On the front page of the paper, 2 jailed 11 years for selling man to undercover police. Yendi MP energizes TESCON. Freddie Blay rallies NPP. Our work will define 2024. Let's fight deforestation. That's a call by Vice President Dr. Bawumia. If you look at the center spread of the paper, we're excited about bringing good health to Ghana. It's part of an entertainment story. It's in the center spread, the News One pullout. Bedukobi hits back after failed prophecies. Also a story here by Francis Addo. It says, Prophet Emmanuel Bedukobi, General Overseer of the Glorious Wave International Church, has returned into mocking trends over the weekend, following his response to persons who have been making fun of his recent failed prophecies. According to him, it is not every prophecy that must come to pass, arguing, quote, there is no prophet without failed prophecy, unquote. Well, it is 2 prophecies, one about the Copa America and the other one, the Euro 2020, that did not come to pass as he had prophesied. So if you've also been talking, and you might want to check out his response and what people have had to say after hearing all of that. The issue about Ghana banning chicken import from Nigeria, Togo is in the center spread. Ghana borrows 23,230 million for July to September. COVID-19 toll on global air travel worsens. And then review fertilizer subsidy. I think it's a piece written by Anthony Morrison on this issue that simply won't go away. It is worsening. There are a lot of farmers who are not getting fertilizer, the subsidized fertilizer, because as you know, what is on the market is very expensive for most farmers, and so the subsidized fertilizer does it. And in recent years, we've been encouraged to go into farming, so there are many more people who have ventured into farming, and they need a subsidized fertilizer. On the back page here, if we investigate Ash Gold Inter-Allies match fixing scandal. So the Ghana Football Association has opened formal investigations into allegations of betting and match fixing after an Inter-Allies defender, Hashmin Musa, confessed to scoring 2 own goals to spoil bets in the side's 7-0 defeat at Ashgold. So question, have you seen the video? Do you appreciate it when we tell the story? we've got the video and we want to play it to you as I go through the other headlines. When the video is ready, we're going to share. FIFA boss salutes hearts. FIFA boss salutes hearts. So that's the FIFA president, Infantino, who's congratulated Hatzabok for winning this season's Ghana Premier League. And his letter delivered to the Ghana Football Association, the FIFA president hailed Hatzabok's victory, putting it down to the hard work, passion, and commitment exhibited by every member of the team towards the triumph. Ooh, that's a big one. Okay, now here's the video, which people say speaks to the allegation of match fixing between Inter Allies and Ash Gold. You see, everything you find in Ghana. That was a very competitive match, wasn't it? No wonder some of us didn't see it. Okay, so I'll just be looking at the league table again, because I want to check where Ash Gold ended up, after all the games. Ash Gold is actually 9 on the table with 14. No, maybe not 14. Okay, with 45 of the points. Okay. Ash Gold, number 9 on the table with 45 points. And of course, as we know, Inter Allies, they've been relegated. They ended 18 on the table. Ayo, we'll see. Now that we're told that the Ghana Football Association is investigating, we wait to see the outcome. But I think there's been some promise that they would deal with people who are found to have been found culpable in this. Would we bring details, after this review in sports, or we play the report now? I'm not sure. Okay, so here's a report filed by the Joy Sports team.
The Compliance and Integrity Officer and the GFA prosecutors will lead the sporting investigation, and the association will further lodge a complaint on the match with the Criminal Investigation Department of the Ghana Police Service and the Ghana wing of Interpol for the criminal investigation of the game. The association will immediately require statements from players and technical team members of the two clubs. as provided for in the GFA statutes and emphasized during the training the GFA gave to clubs and match officials before the start of the league. One of the core objectives of the Ghana Football Association is the commitment to promote the integrity of football in the country. The GFA is committed to investigating all reports of match manipulations and bring the culprits before the Ethics Committee of the Association. The GFA is also committed to report to and assist the Ghana Police Service in all such cases of match manipulations.
So we'll definitely be updating you on the outcome of this investigation. But just on the back of the Daily Guide newspaper, there's also that shameful behavior by some English fans in the Euros. Now we're told that their FA, the English Football Association, has also opened investigations into the fan trouble that marred the Euro 2020 final between England and Italy. Okay, so a lot of investigations going on. Very shameful behaviors. We will see what happens with the outcome of all these investigations. Well, there's something else that's also been brewing on social media. Well, my attention was just drawn to it yesterday, so I guess maybe some of you haven't seen it. So there was a wedding, a pastor's wedding, and I'm talking about Reverend Sam Kranchi Ankara. His daughter got married, and at the ceremony, there were some other young ladies, apparently friends of his daughter, who had made a certain donation. Okay, well, I mean, for most of us, usually, even with the hats, let me use Hearts of Oak. You know, after we won the league, we were given 250,000, right? And there was a dummy check, just like we've seen in this. So often we won't think that it is fake. You know, the real one is there, but this is just for the show. But here's Reverend Sam Kranchi Ankara giving a certain explanation to the video that we've just seen with the donation of $1 million. Okay, just so you know, what was presented to Hearts of Oak, Ghana Football Association, is not fake, right? It was real 250. Okay. So some people have said that we've received this explanation apparently because of a supposed letter from the Ghana Revenue Authority. I've said on the show before that the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority is a very powerful man in Ghana. He's got incredible powers. Now, if you want to show that you have money, he can also show you to prove the source of your income and then pay the necessary taxes on it. So there is a letter that's making the rounds, which, you know, kind of suggests that the GRA has written to this lady who received the gift, the fake gifts now, because now we know. But it goes beyond that. So after we verify that piece of information, we will be sharing details of that with you. But what's the lesson from the little explanation that we've seen? Be careful what you show off at your wedding. Who knows? It might go viral, and then statutory bodies may come after you, possibly. That's it for the review.